And Lynda Tran joins me now from Charleston, South Carolina. She's a political CBSN contributor and Democratic strategist. Welcome, Lynda. So with Super Tuesday so close to the race in South Carolina, how might this impact the candidates' campaigns?
Well, you know, the first four states, Tanya, are really not about the delegates so much as they are about the narrative leading into Super Tuesday. And South Carolina, without a doubt, is the most exciting at this point because we're looking to winnow the field, and this is where we're going to come up against what Joe Biden has been calling his firewall, where we have a majority of the Democratic primary electorate, African-American voters, that he believes he has the best and greatest appeal with. So it's going to definitely be interesting as we're heading into Super Tuesday, where we'll then see a good 60% of the delegates that are up for grabs across 14 states. That's where the big money comes in. However, South Carolina still definitely matters.
And so will this radically reshape the race? I mean, Senator Elizabeth Warren made news in last week's debate. She came in fourth in Nevada. How long can candidates keep coming in third or fourth place?
Well, that's what's been really interesting about this particular cycle, where as we might have seen people exit the race much sooner because of the way things have been split, and there hadn't been up until now someone you would call a very, very clear front runner, with the moderates in the race really sort of splitting that majority of the electorate. It's been a 3 or 4 man/woman race for quite a while. Now, after the first 3 competitions are over, clearly Bernie Sanders has risen to the top. However, we have yet to see how he's going to do here in South Carolina, and even if he does well, we're still talking about 5% of the delegates awarded until Super Tuesday, when it flips to 38% of the total. So the big races, the big contests are still out there, not the least of which is California.
And as you said, the Biden campaign has called South Carolina its firewall. So is his campaign essentially over if he doesn't win in South Carolina?
You know, I honestly feel that Joe Biden not only has to win in South Carolina, but he has to win decisively. It can't be him eking out a victory in a place that he has said he overwhelmingly is popular, that he is much, much stronger than the rest of the field. And so it really is do or die for the Biden campaign this week. There will still, as we said, be lots of races and lots of delegates up for grabs on Super Tuesday, but because the centerpiece of his argument this entire cycle has been his electability, and beyond that, his electability and strength compared to the others in the field, it would be a much more difficult case for him to make if he doesn't win really big here in South Carolina.
And Lynda, Pete Buttigieg has struggled to connect with black voters, as we know. So can you tell us about his outreach to that particular voting group in South Carolina?
Well, you know, I think Mayor Pete Buttigieg has been really interesting on this front, frankly. Over the last year and a half, he's been one of the candidates that actually put forward an economic opportunity agenda for people from African-American communities all around the country. He calls it the Douglas Plan. And so he has definitely very deliberately been doing outreach, trying to make his vision for the country known in African-American communities in particular. And so the fact that he hasn't been able to gain a ton of traction over the last many months, I'm sure, has had his team scratching their heads. I think at this point, though, with everybody really paying attention, with the South Carolina Democratic debate coming up, this is his best and probably last chance to really showcase how he's thinking about communities of color and thinking about black communities in particular.
All right, Lynda Tran, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.